Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this video, Gelli Plate for Dummies number 8. I wonder if there are a lot of gentlemen watching this kind of videos. Well, if you do, sir, let me know in the comments. This is the moment that a lot of people have been waiting for, I think. I'm going to tell you everything I know about magazine transfers. They're not my favorite thing because it's not very creative. You're just copying a picture, and once you have figured out how that goes, well, that's it. You can work around, of course, and there are many ways to work around transfers, but most people are just happy when it works, and a lot of people are frustrated because 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work. Well, let me show you how it always works. If you want to do magazine transfers, I suppose you all heard that the magazine Vogue is the best magazine to do that. It might be a little bit easier, but I think it's becoming a legend that it's the only magazine that does work, because it is not true at all. The really important thing to do is to take a really contrasted image, like this one. For example, oh yes, this one, this is a good one. And once you have found the image, but you're not sure if you're going to be able to transfer it the way you want it, then take the same magazine and take some text, black and white text. For example, here the word November, and we have Charles and Queen Elizabeth on there too, but this is not contrasted enough. But always work, if you're not sure that the magazine will do the job, always take a piece of black and white text to try out if it works or not. So for this video, again, I'm going to use the cheap paint and the more expensive paint to prove to you that it doesn't matter. So I don't need a lot of paint, because I'm just going to try if November is going to transfer correctly. And anyhow, as you know, the layers have to be very thin also for this method. So I'm just rubbing it a little bit, and then I'm going to have a look, and it looks fine, so I can take it off, and you can see that November is transferred perfectly. I'm not going to transfer this on a paper, because that was not the most important thing. I'm just going to wipe this clean. But now I know that this magazine, well, it was Vogue, we all know that it works, but now I know that this magazine does work, and I didn't ruin a pretty image to try it out. But you have seen the amount of paint is really important. If you put on too much, it won't work. Now we are going to take our pretty image. Let me cut it out a little bit so that it's not too large, and that I know, yes, that I need to put it like that. So, this is almost empty. Oops, that's too much. It's almost empty and then I pushed too hard. Let me see if it's too much or not. This is too much, so no worries. I'm going to roll the brayer in my old book, and so I take off paint. This is still too much. How I know? Experience and doing it over and over again. This looks okay, maybe a little bit less. So okay, this is going to be fine, I hope. Now I'm just going to put on the magazine image. Try not to have air bubbles and rub it, but I'm not really rubbing it hard. I'm rubbing it gently. That is important too. And I can already see that it transferred beautifully. Now don't put another paper on right away, because this layer of paint is too thin to be printed right away. If you really want to print it right away, then you have to use open acrylics, who are pretty expensive. And but if you take this image off with matte medium, you have the same result. You won't be putting any colored paint or white paint on top to pull the print. You can just take matte medium, gel medium, acrylic medium to transfer it to your art journal or whatever. Now I'm going to let this dry completely. Okay, this is dry completely. I just need to check if my brayer is completely clean also, because I'm going to use the acrylic binder, and if my brayer has black paint on it, it will spread the black paint all over my image. So even if you think that your brayer is clean by rolling it on a paper, check again with your Vidéo baby wipe. So, and I was telling you about printing this image to another, for example, an art journal. So I'm going to take my art journal. It's one of my art journals. I have, I think, like 50 art journals. And this is a page. What did I put on here? Probably cleaned my brayer, put some white gesso on there, and you can still see some of the text shining through all that. And I will try to put on my image on here. Yeah, that will be quite nice, I think. So, a little bit of acrylic binder. And if you are wondering, so I'm always using this one, because I think it has, it's pretty fluid. It's not too thick. So I'm going to put the acrylic binder over my transfer, and then flopping this over, and so I can see that I put it on the right spot. Now, since this is not as flat as a regular paper would be, I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to put a weight on there, like some heavy books, And since I really like the transfer, I won't take the risk of it not transferring nicely into my art journal by pulling the print too soon. So I will leave this on for at least an hour. In the meantime, I took my square Gelli Plate and some really old paper. Do we always need glossy paper? No. Does any glossy paper works? No. Does any non-glossy paper work? Certainly not. So you just have to try. But if I try this and it works, I know that the whole book will work. So to try this out, what shall I take for trying a little piece? Maybe this. Okay, it will not ruin a pretty image on the other side. I'm just taking a small piece so that when I want to try a really nice one, it won't be ruined for nothing. So this is just trying out if this paper will work. Spreading out a little bit of paint. I don't need a lot, of course. There we go. Putting on the paper. I don't want to make my hands dirty, so I put another paper on top. And I rub it, not too hard, slightly. And I'm going to look what's underneath there. And as you can see, it works perfectly fine. Can you see the details of this print? I knew, of course, before I was showing you that my old book worked, but let's do the print now. Let's do the transfer now with a pretty picture. This was just to show you that you don't need to fill the whole Gelli Plate with paint and waste paint and a beautiful image, just to try if your paper is working or not. Okay, let me see. This, I'm going to transfer this. There we go, cutting around, and I would like to transfer this. Okay. Whoop. So if I'm putting it, yeah, I'm going to put it at this side. Roll out my paint. Like this. This looks the good amount to me. Put my image on there. Give it a good rub. But not too hard and not too long. And let's see what we have. There you go. Wow. This looks nice. I'm not going to print it right away. Going to let it dry completely. Now this is dry. I just cleaned the image a little bit with a baby wipe. Wherever there were small spots with black paint that we didn't need. And I took out this stencil because this lovely lady surely had a lot of lovers. So I'm going to put a little bit of paint on my palette paper here. Pink paint, and going to put that through the holes of the stencil. Without going near the image. Now I know that this paint, it's the same brand as the black one, it's the cheapest paint you can find, but you will see why for some things I really enjoy using it, because as you can see, it's not pigmented at all. You see, there's not a lot of color going onto the stencil, but that's what I sometimes like about this paint. If you really put on a lot, you know, you can make it more darker, but I spread it out because I like it to be discreet, and you will see when I will take the stencil off, the nice thing about it will appear. So I'm even taking off a little bit more of the paint, just trying to spread it evenly. This is a sponge, I think I bought it, it's to take off makeup, I think. Now when I'm taking off the stencil, you will see that the edges, you can see the difference between the paint that's inside the holes and on the edges, because that's where the paint is coming together and it's more obvious. So of course you don't pull this print right away, because then you will only have the hearts and not the transfer. So I will let this dry. And while my lady with the hearts was drying, I had a cup of coffee, I tidied up my workroom a little bit, and now this has been on with a heavy weight for about an hour. And now I'm going to take this off first, or can I take them both? I think I can take them both. Yeah. And it sticks pretty well to the plate, so that's a good sign. Okay. It teared off just a little bit, and there is some paint that didn't come off, but I think it's because it's not, the paper is not very flat and it's not even, but luckily the face is really nicely transferred, so that's okay. And in the meantime, this is dry too, and they're both like a little bit vintage, so maybe I'm going to put this one over here. I will need a book or something to put underneath here, to this, for example. Okay, this will be perfect. So this pretty lady with the hearts, going to show you another paint. This is just because I really like this color and I don't have it in another brand. This is Golden Fluid Acrylics. Works fine. Every acrylic works fine. I don't have to fuss about that, but I really like this color, so I'm going to pull this print with this color, spreading an even layer of this yummy color on the plate. Then I'm going to take my art journal and can you see? Yes. I'm going to turn this around. This is not mounted on an acrylic block, so it's a little bit more difficult. I'm going to put it right over here. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put on a heavy book. You see, this is really a heavy book, and this is my old book with these kind of pictures in it. So I use it as a weight, but it's also really gorgeous and so thick. I have images to do transfers for ages. So this again will have to dry for an hour. Okay, this is dry. Let's see what we have. There we go. The plate is not completely clean, but like I said with the other one, it's because it's in an art journal and the paper isn't as flat as when you would put on a regular copy paper. So to do the transfers, start with a magazine, Vogue if you have one, or if you can buy one, and try on regular copy paper until you get the hang of it. And then you can try out whatever other magazine you have lying around, or old books or whatever. Don't get frustrated if it doesn't work. I think I tried transfers for years. Well, I stopped in fact for years because I was frustrated by them. They didn't work. And then I started again like a year ago, and then all of a sudden I understood that it was really the amount of paint that is important, and not taking the print right away, but let it dry and then take it off with something else. So I hope you liked this video, and I'm going to give you a flip through of this art journal since it's underneath my camera. Some of the pages are done with gel printing. This is a gel print transfer. This also, it's not finished yet. Here also leaves. Yeah, in fact there's a lot of gel prints in there. Here is no gel print, not here either. But so really don't get frustrated when the transfer don't work, because there's so much other fun things that you can do with a gel plate. So don't worry, one day you'll figure it out, and in the meantime you can make other fun things with your gel plates. This is done with the gel plate, by the way. I'm going to show you this technique another time. It's the cologram technique. It's really fun technique to do. This is with gel print scraps. Oh, it's a good idea to go through this art journal. This is also with something that I've a plant that I found in the garden. This is also the same technique as we did in the number 6, I think. Yes. If you want the laser print transfer, there's another video, but it's not in the series of Gelli Plate for Dummies. It's before. I will put the number in the at the end of this video. Okay, that's all, folks. Thank you. Give me if you like my video, and see you soon.